Revenge story. She laughed and took my home. I fought. If this story moved, you don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. She laughed in my face and told me to leave our home, calling me worthless. But Melanie had no idea who I was. That was the night I stopped being her husband. I'm Owen Chandler, 47, a man who builds empires in the shadows and buries betrayals deep. Born in a Cleveland steel town, I scrapped my way through night school, turning a logistics startup into a 7-figure machine in Boise, Idaho. Not a mogul, just a guy who knows a contract from a con. My life was forged. A cedar-shingled house in Warm Springs, a navy blue Ram 1500, and a wife I'd have torn the sky down for. Melanie, 34, with chestnut curls that danced in the Boise breeze and hazel eyes that burned like a shot of bourbon. 14 years married, and I thought we were untouchable. Melanie was my wildfire. Sultry sharp, she ran a boutique interior design firm, spinning Boise's new wealth into showpiece homes. We'd kayak the Boise River, her laughter slicing the air, or host barbecues in our backyard, her hand grazing mine as we planned a future cabin by Payette Lake. We're so close, Owen, she'd purr her lips, brushing my ear, her perfume a promise. I'd pull her close, my voice low. We're already there, Mel. That was the Melanie I'd have died for. But fires fade, and I missed the embers turning to ash. It crept in slow 2 years back. Melanie's warmth cooled. Her client meetings stretched past midnight, her phone buzzing with texts she'd shield. Just work, Owen, she'd say, her smile too polished, her new Prada heels clicking louder than her laugh. She started dropping hints, Rolex ads, left open brochures for McCall mansions pinned to the fridge. I noticed her nails, always manicured, her dresses tighter, her eyes less mine. Lucas, our neighbor's kid who mowed our lawn, caught her once whispering on the phone in our driveway. Her voice low, urgent. He told me sheepish, thinking I should know. I brushed it off. Trusted her. Staked my soul on it. But trust is a balance sheet, and every I'm fine was a red line. Her mother, Gloria Weston, 58, a retired realtor with a tongue like a whip piled on. She'd visit, her Chanel bag swinging, demanding I step up for Melanie. Buy her a proper house, Owen, she'd sneer, eyeing my flannel like it was trash. She deserves better than this. Melanie never stopped her, her silence a blade. I'd nod, pour her coffee, and keep my peace. I wasn't a pauper. Chandler Logistics owned half the shipping routes in Idaho, with 3 commercial properties and a portfolio kissing 8 figures. But I drove a Ram, wore denim, lived modest to test Melanie's heart. I wanted a wife who loved me, not the money. She was failing and I was blind. The crack came a Friday, the Boise air sharp with fall. I was in the garage cleaning my fishing rods, the scent of pine heavy. Melanie's Audi roared in her heels, snapping like gunfire. She stood in the doorway, her face stone, her curls catching the light. "Owen, pack your bags," she said, her voice ice. "I'm done with you." My rod clattered to the floor, the sound sharp. "What?" I asked, my gut lurching. "You're a loser," she spat, her eyes venomous. "No ambition, no class. I'm ashamed I married you. Get out." My chest burned, the air gone. Our home. The one I'd rewired myself, every board my blood. "This is our house, Mel," I said, my voice low, steady. "You don't get to erase me." She laughed, a cruel, throaty sound that cut deeper than words. "It's half mine," she said, tossing her hair. "I'm keeping it. Don't embarrass yourself." I didn't flinch. Didn't roar. Just stared, her hazel eyes alien now. "You sure?" I asked, my hands balling. "Dead sure," she said, turning away. "Leave by morning or I'll make it hell." I packed a duffel, my jaw tight, my mind a storm. The backyard's fairy lights glowed, mocking me. This wasn't a fight. It was a coup, and I don't surrender. Melanie thought she'd broken me, but this revenge story was just igniting. She didn't know the real Owen Chandler. I'd hidden my hand, CEO of Chandler Logistics, silent owner of 2 strip malls and a downtown office tower, my wealth tucked in trusts and offshore accounts. I wore Carhartt, drank cheap beer, lived lean to find a woman who saw me, not the balance sheet. Melanie's betrayal wasn't just personal. It was a miscalculation, and I was about to balance the books. I checked into a hotel, Boise's skyline a cold shimmer. My assistant, Linda Hayes, a 61-year-old dynamo who'd run my office like a general, got my call at dawn. "Cancel my meetings," I said, "and get me Rachel Vaughn." Rachel was a divorce lawyer, a cobra with a law degree. We met at a diner off Chind in the morning mist, thick coffee steaming. "What's the play, Owen?" she asked, her notebook open. "Melanie kicked me out," I said, my voice steel. Wants the house, everything. I want her gone and I want it surgical. Rachel's eyes glinted. Assets. Locked tight, I said. She doesn't know my worth. But she's not acting alone. Another man. Rachel asked, pen pausing. Count on it, I said, my fists clenching. I hired a PI, Sam Tucker, a wiry ex-detective with a nose for dirt. Tear into Melanie, I told him, handing him a burner phone. Every text, every cent. Find who's in her ear. Sam came through in 5 days as dossier a Molotov cocktail. Photos. Melanie with Casey Durbin. 46, a real estate shark I'd golfed with at a Boise chamber event 2 summers back. They were at a McCall hotel, her lips locked on his hands greedy. Bank records showed Casey funneling $300,000 through Melanie's design firm tagged as consulting fees. Texts. Owen's clueless. House is ours. Move in soon. My whiskey glass cracked in my hand, the amber liquid pooling. Casey. The guy I'd called a friend. This wasn't just infidelity. It was a heist. I kept my rage caged, my focus lethal. Melanie's barbs loser no class burned, but Gloria's voice was worse, echoing her daughter's disdain. I'd endured their jabs for love, but love doesn't survive a knife. Sam's report hinted at more. Melanie's firm wasn't just a front for Casey. It was tied to a bigger player, someone pulling strings. Keep digging, I told Sam. I want the puppet master. Melanie pushed for a settlement at a rooftop bar downtown Boise's, lights sprawling below. I arrived early, Rachel's advice sharp. Stay cool. Let her hang herself. Melanie swept in her dress, a second skin Casey at her side, his Rolex catching the neon. Sign Owen, she said, sliding papers across her smile ablade. I get the house. You get to walk away. Casey smirked, his hand on her hip. Don't be a fool, Owen. Take the deal. I didn't touch the papers. Pulled out Sam's bank records, 1 sheet. This says you're laundering money, Casey, I said, my voice ice. Through Melanie's firm. Wanna talk? Melanie's smile faltered, her breath catching. Casey's eyes narrowed, his charm cracking. You're out of your league, he growled, leaning in. Am I? I stood, leaving the papers. Court's Monday. Bring your story. That night, Sam called, his voice low. It's bigger than Casey. Melanie's firm is linked to a woman, Lydia Pierce, 55, silent partner in Casey's deals. Shady loans, forged leases. And there's a kid, her nephew Tyler, 18, running their drops. He scared Owen. My blood chilled. Tyler. Melanie's lanky nephew, a college kid who'd helped me fix our deck last summer. What's he carrying? I asked, my whiskey untouched. Cash contracts, Sam said. Lydia's got him on a leash. And Melanie, she's not just cheating. She's neck deep. I stood, Boise's skyline a blur. This wasn't just a revenge story. It was a reckoning, and I was ready to burn it down. The Boise night was a blade, the hotel's neon hum no match for the fury in my chest. Melanie's laugh, cruel cutting, rang from that rooftop bar, her lips curled as she demanded my home, Casey Durbin's hand claiming her like a prize. Sam Tucker's dossier was a torch. Casey laundering $300,000 through Melanie's design firm tied to Lydia Pierce, a shadow player in Boise's real estate game. And Tyler, Melanie's 18-year-old nephew, was their terrified mule hauling their secrets. This revenge story wasn't just a wound, it was a war, and I was loading the cannons. I'm Owen Chandler, 47, a man who carves truth from lies and builds from ashes. Melanie thought she'd crushed me, calling me worthless, her hazel eyes mocking my fall. I'd hit back, flashing their fraud at the settlement, but Lydia's reach and Tyler's fear raised the stakes. I wasn't just saving my house. I was saving a kid from a machine that chewed up souls. Dawn broke cold and raw. I was in my Ram 1500 slicing through Boise's fog to my office. Chandler Logistics pulsed trucks, rumbling deals closing, but my mind was a razor. Linda Hayes, my assistant, slid a coffee across my desk, her eyes sharp. You look like you're hunting Owen, she said, her voice dry. Big game, I replied, opening Sam's latest file. Rachel called. She's primed, Linda said. Court's tomorrow. Says you've got Melanie and Casey cornered. I nodded, but cornered wasn't enough. I wanted them broken. Sam's report was a landmine. Lydia Pierce. 55 wasn't just a deal maker. She was a predator rigging Boise's property market with fake trusts and shell companies. Melanie's firm was her laundry, $300,000 from Casey's real estate flips masked as design contracts. Tyler was their runner, dropping cash at dive bars thinking it was helping Aunt Mel. Emails between Melanie and Lydia showed her pleading. Tyler's too young. Use me. Lydia's reply. He's in or you're out. My fists clenched. Melanie shielding Tyler. Or covering her tracks. I didn't wait to guess. Rachel Vaughn, my lawyer, met me at a bar off Vista, the jukebox humming Springsteen. We've got Casey and Melanie on laundering. She said her whiskey untouched. The house is yours if we prove fraud. But Lydia Pierce. She's a ghost connected clean on paper. Not to me, I said, sliding her the emails. And Tyler's caught up. Melanie's nephew. We get him out. Rachel's brow furrowed. A kid. Owen, this is a powder keg. You push, it's not just divorce, it's a crusade. Then I'm all in, I said, my voice steel. I don't fold. Court was hours away, but I needed more. Sam called, his voice tight. Tyler's in a motel off I-84 with Melanie's sister, Tara Weston, 38. They're scared. Lydia's muscle is circling guy named Vince Russo, 43 ex-con. Tara. I asked, my pulse spiking. Melanie's sister, a yoga instructor, who'd always been kind, distant from Gloria's venom. Now hiding Tyler. Yes, Sam said. Tara's trying to pull him out, but Vince is bad news. You want me to grab them? Do it, I said. Now. Sam moved like lightning. By dusk, he had Tyler and Tara at a safe house, a cabin near Lucky Peak, the reservoir glinting under twilight. I drove up the gravel, crunching my breath visible in the chill. Inside, Tyler sat, his face pale, Tara gripping his shoulder. Owen, Tara said, her voice shaky. Thank God. They're after him. Who? I asked, crouching by Tyler. Talk, kid. Tyler's voice trembled. Lydia. She made me drop off envelopes, money papers. Said if I didn't, she'd hurt Aunt Mel. I didn't know it was wrong. I nodded, my chest tight. You're safe. What's in the envelopes? Lists, he said, pulling a flash drive from his pocket. Names, accounts. Lydia called it her insurance. I plugged it in. Files, city officials, developers, a senator. My blood froze. Lydia wasn't just crooked. She was Boise's shadow queen. Tara, why keep this from me? I asked. She wiped her eyes. Melanie swore it'd protect you. She's trapped, Owen. Lydia owns her. Owns her. The woman who'd laughed me out of my home. I pocketed the drive, my mind churning. Stay here, I told them. Sam's got you. Back in Boise, I handed Rachel the drive. This ties Lydia to Melanie and Casey, I said. Use it. Keep Tyler's name out. Rachel scanned the files, her jaw dropping. This could topple half the city, Owen. You sure? Dead sure, I said, my jaw set. But Sam's next drop was a gut punch. Melanie had a hidden account, not Lydia's, not Casey's. $50,000, siphoned from her firm parked in a Boise credit union. Withdrawals started a month ago, wired to a local charity, Hope House, a shelter for teens. Was Melanie skimming? Running? Or something else? I didn't tell Rachel. This was my card. The hearing was a storm. Rachel unleashed the bank records, Melanie's emails, and Casey's deals, linking them to Lydia's empire. Melanie sat alone, Casey in custody, her face ashen, her fingers twisting a necklace I'd given her years ago. The judge leaned forward, voice hard. Ms. Vaughn, you're alleging a conspiracy. Yes, Your Honor, Rachel said, sliding over the redacted drive. These accounts tie the defendants to Lydia Pierce, a fraud mastermind. Melanie's lawyer, Greg Holt, stumbled. This is unverified. My client. Has proof, Rachel cut in, her voice a blade. Emails, transfers, witnesses. The gallery buzzed. Melanie's eyes met mine, raw, desperate. For a moment, I saw the Melanie who danced with me under backyard stars. Gone. The judge called a recess, issuing warrants. Melanie stayed seated, Greg whispering, her hands shaking. Outside, Sam was waiting his truck, idling. Trouble, he said, handing me a photo. Lydia at a Boise bar meeting a man, not Casey, not Vince. That's Roger Klein, 50, Lydia's old partner. He's back and he's pissed. My guy heard him say your name. My stomach dropped. Roger. What's his angle? I asked. Revenge, Sam said. Lydia cut him out years ago, took his deals, his cash. He's got dirt ledgers, recordings. Wants her down. But he's a wild card. Could help or screw you. I nodded, my mind racing. Set a meet. Sam tracked Roger to a diner off Broadway by nightfall. I went alone the lot, dim rain slicking the asphalt. Roger was wiry, his eyes hard, a coffee cooling. Chandler, he said, voice low. Heard you're after Lydia. Want in? Show me, I said, arms crossed. He slid a USB across his fingers, scarred. Lydia's books calls deals. She bragged about owning Melanie. But your wife, she's not just a pawn. She's moving pieces. My pulse quickened. Moving pieces. I plugged in the USB. Audio of Lydia laughing about breaking Melanie ledgers, tying her to Casey, and a note Rogers scrawled. Melanie's skimming. Check the charity. My gut twisted. Hope House. Deal, I said, pocketing the USB. But you stay low. Rogers smirked. Don't trust me, huh? Nobody, I shot back, walking out. Back at the hotel, I sat with the USB Boise's lights flickering. Melanie's $50,000 nagged me. I hacked her email, same password, careless, finding a donation receipt. $25,000 to Hope House, signed by Melanie. A note for Tyler's future. My breath caught. Was this guilt or a cover? Sam called, voice urgent. Melanie's at a warehouse near the airport with Vince. My guy's got eyes. Looks like a drop. Get me there, I said, speeding out. The warehouse was a rusted shell, rain pounding. Sam's truck was parked a block away. She's inside, he whispered, handing me binoculars. Melanie stood by crates, Vince looming a bag at his feet. Roger slipped in his face, tense. My pulse spiked. Roger. Double dealing. I snapped photos, texting Rachel. Warehouse. Melanie, Vince, Roger. Feds now. Sam nodded, calling his contact. But Vince spotted us pulling a gun. Chandler. He roared. I ducked Sam, tackling him, fists flying. Melanie screamed, Roger, bolting. Feds swarmed, cuffs snapping, bags spilling cash. Melanie's eyes met mine, rain soaking her. Oh, and I was protecting Tyler, she said, voice breaking. Lydia threatened him. Protecting. I stepped closer, my voice ice. You called me nothing, Mel. She shook her head, tears falling. I had to. For him. I turned away as feds hauled her in. Roger was gone. Vince cuffed the cash seized. The bag held a letter, Melanie's handwriting. Oh, and I'm sorry. I chose Tyler. My hands shook. Truth. Or another lie. Court was tomorrow, and I had one more play. The Boise dawn was a bruise, the skyline jagged against my resolve. Melanie's plea, I was protecting Tyler, clashed with Roger Klein's shadow and the weight of her letter. I chose Tyler. This revenge story had twisted into a maze of lies with Lydia Pierce's empire at its core. Melanie was with the feds. Casey Durbin was cuffed and Tyler was safe. But Roger's presence and Melanie's $50,000 charity transfers hinted at a deeper game. I wasn't just fighting for my home. I was fighting for truth, and I was running out of time. I'm Owen Chandler, 47, a man who turns betrayal into steel and pain into purpose. Melanie thought she'd erased me, calling me worthless, her laugh a blade in my chest. I'd struck back, exposing their fraud, but her shelter donations and Roger's files muddied the waters. Was she a pawn or a player? I needed answers, and I needed them now. I sat in my hotel, the flash drive's files glowing on my laptop. Roger's note, Melanie's skimming, burned, matched by the Hope House receipt. $25,000 for Tyler's future. Sam Tucker, my PI, called, his voice rough. Roger's in Nampa meeting a woman, not Lydia, not Melanie. Name's Carla Voss, 49 ex-accountant for Lydia. They're talking about you, Owen, in a package. My pulse surged. Carla. A package. Track them, I said, grabbing my Ram's keys. And dig into Melanie's charity. It's not just guilt. On it, Sam said. But Owen, the feds are jumpy. Lydia's got a judge in her pocket. Watch your step. I nodded, speeding through Boise's morning haze to Rachel Vaughn's office. My lawyer was pacing her desk, buried in files. Owen, Melanie's testimony is dynamite, she said, her voice taut. She's naming Lydia's client's bankers a mayor. But she's holding back. That Hope House money. It's tied to a shadow account, not her firm. My chest tightened. Shadow account. What's her endgame? I asked, sliding her the burner's texts. She's texting about ending Lydia. And Tyler's college fund, $25,000 from her. Rachel's eyes narrowed, scanning the messages. She's not just scared. She's maneuvering. The shelter's half legit, half front. She's hiding something or someone. My jaw clenched. Hiding who? Use it in court, I said. And find Carla Voss. She's with Roger. Rachel nodded, her pen flying. This is a house of cards, Owen. One wrong move, it's over. Then we don't miss, I said, my voice iron. Sam's call came at noon. Carla's at a storage unit in Meridian with Roger. They've got a laptop, big files. My guy heard your name, something about leverage. Want me to move? Wait, I said, my mind racing. I'm coming. I sped to Meridian, the storage lot, a maze of steel doors, rain drumming. Sam's truck was parked, his guy Nate, a lean ex-Marine, watching. They're in Unit 12, Nate whispered, pointing. Roger's armed. Carla's nervous. I nodded, slipping closer, the air thick with rust and damp. Voices echoed Carla's sharp, Roger's low. Chandler's too close, Carla said. If he gets the package, Lydia's done, and us. Then we burn it, Roger growled. Him too if we have to. My blood froze. Me. I signaled Nate, who recorded his phone hidden. But a new voice cut through Melanie's. Leave Owen out, she said, her tone fierce. I'll handle the package. I peered through a crack, my heart pounding. Melanie stood there, rain-soaked, a backpack slung over her shoulder. Carla laughed cold. You're soft, Melanie. Always were. Lydia wants Chandler gone. Melanie's eyes flashed. Lydia's finished. I gave the feds her vault. You want to sync with her. My breath caught. Vault. Melanie turning on Lydia. Or acting. I snapped photos, texting Rachel. Storage unit. Melanie, Roger, Carla. Feds now. Nate nodded, calling it in. But Roger sensed us spinning, gun drawn. Who's there? He barked. I stepped out, hands up, voice steady. Drop it, Roger. It's over. Carla's face paled. Melanie gasped, Owen, no. Roger lunged, but Nate was faster, tackling him, gun skidding. Sam burst in, cuffs snapping. Melanie dropped her backpack papers, spilling Lydia's client list bank codes more than Tyler's drive. Carla bolted, but feds swarmed, blocking her. Melanie's eyes met mine, rain dripping from her curls. I was saving Tyler, she said, voice breaking. Lydia had him in her grip. Saving. I stepped closer, my voice ice. You laughed me out of our home, Mel. She flinched, tears falling. I had to. For him. I turned away as feds hauled her in. Carla screamed, cuffed, her laptop seized. The backpack held a letter, Melanie's script. Oh, and I chose Tyler. I'm sorry. My hands shook. Truth. Or another mask. But there was more. Sam's guy found a hidden file on Carla's laptop, a video dated a week ago. Melanie in a dim room pleading with Lydia. Let Tyler go, she said, voice cracking. I'll do anything. Lydia's laugh. Then destroy Chandler. Or the kid pays. My stomach churned. Destroy me. Melanie's letter chose Tyler, felt heavier. Was she trapped? Or playing me still? Court was a battlefield. Rachel unleashed everything. Melanie's text, the shelter front, Roger's files, Tyler's lists. The judge's face was stone. Ms. Vaughn, you're alleging a syndicate. Yes, Your Honor. Rachel said, sliding over the evidence. Lydia Pierce, Casey Durbin, and others with Mrs. Chandler as a coerced participant. Melanie's lawyer, Greg, stammered. My client cooperated. She risked perjury, Rachel cut in, her voice lethal. Her testimony's incomplete. Melanie stood, voice firm. I hid one thing. Lydia's safe deposit box, First Boise Bank. It's got tapes, contracts, proof. The gallery gasped. Rachel glanced at me, eyes wide. The judge ordered a raid adjourning. Melanie sat head down, feds escorting her out. I leaned toward Sam, whispering, check that box. Now. Sam's guy cracked the box, by dusk, feds hauling out tapes. Lydia bribing officials, Carla forging leases, Casey skimming. But one tape gutted me. Melanie months ago begging Lydia. Leave Tyler alone, she said, tears falling. I'll give you Owen. Lydia's voice. Good girl. Break him. My blood ran cold. Break me. I drove to the safe house, Tyler and Tara waiting. Tyler hugged me, his voice shaky. Aunt Mel got me out, he said. Told Lydia I was done. I nodded, my resolve wavering. But Sam's next call shattered it. Melanie's gone, he said. Slipped fed custody. Left a note. I'm ending this. My heart stopped. Ending what? I raced to her design office, finding a flash drive on her desk tagged. Owen. I plugged it in. A video, Melanie's face pale. Owen, I'm sorry. Lydia's last ally cop, Neil Travers. He's after you. This has his deals. Give it to the feds. Keep Tyler safe. The screen cut to Travers' files. Bribes hits Lydia's orders. I called Rachel, sending the drive. Travers is dirty, I said. Melanie's running. Running, Rachel asked. Or baiting him. I didn't know. Feds raided Travers' precinct, his files matching Melanie's. Lydia was indicted, Carla and Casey facing decades. Melanie was a ghost, her note echoing. Ending this. But there was another twist. Tyler found a letter in his dorm, Melanie's handwriting. Tyler, tell Owen I'm fighting. For you both. Enclosed was a key to a Boise storage unit. I went alone, the unit packed with files. Lydia's entire network annotated by Melanie, her notes pleading. Owen used this. End it. For Tyler. And a photo us years ago laughing in our backyard, her curls catching the sun. My breath caught. Fighting. For us. Or herself. I gave the files to Rachel, feds dismantling Lydia's empire. I moved back to the house, Tyler visiting, his smile cautious, my business roaring. But Melanie's key lingered, a question. Was she out there atoning? Or gone forever? I didn't hate her. Didn't love her. I just stood taller. What would you have done? Hunted Melanie. Forgiven her. Or let her go like me? Did I win or just survive? Betrayal builds walls. Truth builds bridges. Like what you heard. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Viora. Because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.